She disappeared for weeks to find herself with her ex, so I found my dignity and walked away. We were together for 3.5 years. I met Rachel during a friend's party, and from the beginning, there was this spark. She was witty, charming, had this easy laugh that made people around her loosen up. We were both in our late 20s, trying to make something of our careers, her in marketing, me in software development. We moved in together after a year. Things weren't perfect, obviously. We had our fights, sometimes about money, sometimes about priorities. But I always believed that love meant working through the rough patches, not walking away. So when I proposed to her last December, after we'd survived a tough year together, I thought we were both on the same page. She said yes. She cried. I cried. It felt like the culmination of something strong. Fast forward to about 3 months ago, something changed. She started becoming distant. Her phone was always on silent. She'd work late more often, and when I asked if she was okay, she'd brush me off with, "Just stressed, babe. Campaign deadlines." Then came the talk. She sat me down one night in March and said, "I think we need a break. Not because I don't love you, but because I don't know who I am outside of us anymore. I need space. Just a little time to breathe before the wedding." It blindsided me. We had already sent out save-the-date emails. Our parents were involved. Deposits had been made. But I didn't want to be the guy who forced someone to stay. I told her, "Okay, if space is what you need, I'll respect that. But please, let's stay in touch. I just want to know you're okay." She agreed. But then she vanished. No texts. No calls. No, "Hey, I'm alive, just need time." Nothing. Days turned into a week. A week into 2. I messaged her mom to ask if she was okay, and she responded with a vague, "She's figuring some stuff out. Give her time." That only made things worse. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. My fiancée, the woman I thought I'd spend the rest of my life with, was just gone. After 3 weeks, I stopped waiting. I knew something wasn't right. Then, one night, out of nowhere, Rachel showed up at our apartment. Hair done, wearing my favorite hoodie, acting like she'd just gotten back from a weekend yoga retreat. "Hey you," she said like nothing happened. "Can we talk?" She told me she had gone to stay with a friend to clear her head. She was sorry for going completely dark, but she needed to disconnect. I asked, "With who? What friend? Where?" Her answers were vague, defensive even. But then she dropped the real bomb. "I ran into Kevin while I was staying with Alyssa. We got to talking and I guess some old feelings came up. But it just made me realize how much I want this, us. The wedding. Our future. Kevin. Her ex. The same guy who cheated on her during college. The same guy she swore she'd never speak to again. The guy she used to refer to as a walking red flag." I just sat there, numb. My heart wasn't breaking. It had already been shattered weeks ago. I realized I had been holding on to a version of her that didn't exist anymore. She expected things to go back to normal. But she didn't know. I had spent those weeks building something she hadn't expected. I didn't say much that night. I told her I needed some time too. She agreed, kissed me on the cheek, and left for her friend's place again. What she didn't know was that I wasn't taking a break. I was planning something. After Rachel left that night, I sat alone in our living room, staring at the blank TV screen like it was going to show me the right move. The apartment still smelled like her vanilla shampoo. Her coffee mug was in the sink, but none of it felt familiar anymore. I felt like a stranger in my own life. That night, I did what I should have done 3 weeks earlier. I checked her location history. She had shared it with me ages ago and apparently forgot to turn it off. Turns out, she hadn't been staying with her friend Alyssa. She'd been at a condo complex across town for 11 out of the 18 days she ghosted me. And when I cross-checked the address, it was Kevin's. That was the last confirmation I needed. She hadn't just ghosted me. She'd spent our so-called break hooking up with the same guy who once broke her heart. And now she thought she could just come back and pick up the pieces like nothing happened? Not on my watch. So I started planning. No, not revenge. I wasn't going to scream or destroy her things or go full soap opera. But I was going to walk away on my terms. First, I called off the wedding. Quietly. I contacted the venue, the caterer, the DJ. Lost a chunk of the deposits, but I didn't care. I told them there had been a change of plans and gave them my lawyer's number in case there were any issues. Then I sat down and drafted an email. Not just to my side of the family, but to hers as well. I was polite, respectful, but honest. I let them know the wedding had been called off, and while I appreciated their support, I wouldn't be answering any personal questions at the moment. Most of them responded with concern. Her dad even called me and said, "I'm sorry, son. I had no idea she'd been in contact with Kevin again." That hurt in a different way, he knew too. I spent the next few days moving my stuff out of our shared apartment. She still hadn't moved anything back in. She thought we were on pause, but I knew the relationship had flatlined. I left her a note on the counter. "Rachel, I wish you the best in your journey to find yourself. But I'm no longer part of that story. Please do not contact me. I need to heal, and I can't do that while pretending this didn't happen. Then I blocked her. Phone, email, socials, everything. But I wasn't done yet. You see, about a week before she ghosted me, Rachel had asked me to take care of a few wedding logistics, mostly things like photo selection for the slideshow at the reception, playlist edits, etc. She gave me admin access to our joint wedding website, and since she hadn't bothered to take it back, I used it one last time. I changed the homepage to read, "This wedding is officially canceled. Sometimes love isn't enough, especially when honesty disappears." I disabled RSVPs, canceled the registry links, and deleted every picture of us except one, a black and white photo from the first year we dated, when things were still real. I left that photo with no caption, just silence. 3 days later, I got a call from an unknown number. I didn't answer. 10 minutes later, I got a text from a new number. Just one sentence. "What the hell did you do?" She finally realized what was happening, and she wasn't ready for the final step. But I was. I didn't respond to her text. She tried calling again the next day, different number. Same result. I was done giving her access to me. But, of course, silence didn't stop Rachel. She showed up. It was a Saturday morning. I had moved into a friend's spare room temporarily while I looked for a new place. I was halfway through my coffee when my friend opened the door and said, "Hey, Rachel's here." I didn't answer. Just walked to the front door. She looked nothing like the woman who ghosted me for 3 weeks. Her hair was tied back messily. No makeup. Puffy eyes. She looked like she hadn't slept. "Can we talk?" she asked, voice low. I didn't say anything. Just stepped outside and closed the door behind me. She started rambling about how she made a mistake, how she thought seeing Kevin would give her closure, not open old wounds, how it didn't mean anything, how she thought the break would help her clear her head, but it only made her realize how much she missed me. I stood there, arms crossed, listening. Then she hit me with, "Why didn't you talk to me before canceling everything? We could have worked through this." I almost laughed. "You want to talk about communication? You ghosted me for nearly 3 weeks. Not even a text. While I was pacing the floor every night wondering if you were okay, or if I'd been dumped without even being told." She opened her mouth, but I cut her off. "You went back to the guy who cheated on you, the guy you hated, and you lied about it. You weren't finding yourself, Rachel. You were sleeping with your ex. And you thought I'd be waiting here like a placeholder, like a safety net." She started crying. "It wasn't like that." I was confused. I didn't know what I wanted. I nodded. "That's the most honest thing you've said in months. And I hope you figure it out. But I'm not going to be your fallback." Then I handed her something, a small envelope. Inside was a printed copy of the wedding venue cancellation, her name listed as co-applicant. "You might want to let your family know." I already did. She stared at the paper, speechless. I walked back inside. That was the last time I saw her in person. It's been about 4 months now. I've moved into a new apartment. Bought myself a decent secondhand motorcycle I'd been eyeing for years. I've picked up photography again. I see friends more. I sleep better. I'm still healing, yeah, but I'm not bitter. Rachel reached out a couple more times. Through mutual friends. Email. Even a handwritten letter once. I didn't respond. I don't hate her. I think she got scared. Some people run when things get too real, and instead of facing the storm, they find shelter in old, familiar disasters. But I learned something important. When someone shows you their true priorities, believe them the first time. Relationships are built on trust, on showing up, even when it's hard. And the moment she decided to ghost me instead of talking things through, she made her choice. The wedding didn't happen, but I still got my closure. And honestly, that was the best gift she ever gave me. I appreciate you watching till the end. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more content.